hammerheads, what's going on? Yeah, I didn't say hey everybody this time. I just said, oh hey hammerheads. What the hell, right? All right, man. Today is Friday. And in this video, I am not going to try to clap my hands like I do every other freaking time, you know. All right. So, if you guys just saw the last video I just put out, which was new arrivals and whatnot, I briefly touched upon the Black Sabbath Live Evil, all right? Now, there's a lot of YouTube stuff going on, people talking about it, unboxing, all this sort of jazz, which is great. I'm another one doing the same thing. So, on that video, I showed you what it was, but on this one, we're going to talk about it a little more in depth, all right? Try to pull some more useless knowledge out of this freaking noggin, all right? But before we get to this, my original copy, not only, you know, we're going to have to talk about this, but if we're going to talk about that, then we got to talk about this. Because these two kind of coincide a little bit, all right? A lot of backstories, a lot of crap going on in the making of these two drama albums. And that's before I can even talk about this, all right? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to go on here. So I don't know if I want to start with the Ozzy or start with the Sabbath. But you know what? We'll start with this first, all right? And only because this came out first, all right? I don't know if Ozzy got wind of what Sabbath was doing, but there's a whole lot of stuff going on, all right? So let's start with Ozzy, Speak of the Devil. And in the UK, I think it was called Talk of the Devil, all right? So, Ozzy. Before this album was even made, and with Brad Gillis, discussions were talked about with Randy and Aldridge, you know, Tommy Aldridge, the drummer, and Sarzo and everybody, that Ozzy wanted to make a live album with all Sabbath stuff. Randy wanted no part of it, okay? And Aldridge wanted no part of it either, okay? Sarzo was like, you know, I'll do it, whatever. But in the meantime, Rudy was kind of like already doing stuff with Quiet Riot, doing the Mental Health album, okay? Kind of on the slide, okay? So, but he reluctantly, you know, he was neutral. Rudy's cool. You've seen him talk. He's a nice guy, right? Never met him, but he seems cool. But Randy wanted no part of it, and Ozzy got pissed off at Randy, right? And started threatening him with like, oh, I'll replace you with Gary Moore, or I'll replace you with Frank Zappa, and bop, 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 you know, getting under Randy's skin. But at the time, Ozzy was like a major, you know, full-blown, you know, alcoholic and whatever else was going on, man. Ozzy was, you know, kind of a mess back in those days, right? Probably doesn't remember half the stuff. But, you know, I guess Randy was like, all right, fine, you know what? I'll do the live album, and I'll finish out my contract, which was supposed to be like one more studio album and one more tour, which, as we know, never happened, right? Man, one more Ozzy album with Randy. That would have been great. Oh, man. But anyway, so Randy agreed, okay? He was like, all right, screw it. I'll do it. Whatever. But, I mean, Randy he didn't like playing the Sabbath songs anyway. You know, they had enough Ozzy material between the first two albums, but you know, Ozzy was like, hey, man, you know, I still have my Black Sabbath following. There's still certain songs I got to play, which he did. Paranoid, Iron Man, Children of the Grave was always in the live set, right? So they agreed to go do all this stuff, but then obviously it never happened because of what happened to Randy, right? The plane, you guys all know the story. So that never happened. So they get another guitarist, Bernie Tomei came in, stepped in, was playing the live gigs for a little while. But then both parties agreed, you know, Ozzy's camp and Bernie, like, hey, man, this isn't working out. But meanwhile, this live album is still looming. So enter Brad Gillis, okay? Brad comes down, learns everything in like 5 days to go and start touring with Ozzy, right? 5 days, whatever, to learn all this stuff, whatever was going on, man. I mean, Brad, they flew him in from LA, and he had to learn all this stuff, right? He did a great job, too. There's more details about all that stuff, but that's the gist, all right? So Brad comes in, starts learning all this stuff. Now they go in to record this live album. 2 days at the Ritz in Manhattan. Now, they recorded the 2 nights, but they also recorded during the day with no audience because the producer wanted more material just in case something went down, all right? Anything can happen on stage. At least we have another set that has, other songs, the songs on it. Just without an audience, we'll add the audience later. Kind of like what Kiss did with Tomorrow and Tonight and Hard Luck Woman, right? But anyway, and supposedly there may be 1 or 2 songs on here where they added the audience. You're going to have to sit back, throw the headphones on and kind of decipher which ones they are, okay? So yeah, they did that. So they recorded the 2 nights and the 1 during the day with no audience. And yeah, I don't know what other overdubs were done on here. Whatever. So that's what they did with all of that. Now, supposedly, Ozzy didn't want to make this. He was furious that he had to do it. He didn't even show up for rehearsals. He wanted no part of rehearsals. The band was rehearsing without Ozzy singing, right? Kudos to them for doing that, right? How many times are we doing this? 4 times, and then 8 times with the bridge, 4 times, Not only are you a musician, but you got to do a lot of counting, all right? How many parts, this, that, and the other thing, unless you just fully memorize everything. But that's another story. So they rehearsed without Ozzy. And now, again, supposedly, they were signed to Jet Records, okay? Which was Sharon's Osbourne. Back then was Sharon Arden. Her father owned Jet label. She wanted out of it. Jet label made a deal with, who was he under here? CBS or Columbia, whatever, to do the album as a distribution, whatever. There was other business stuff going on. So I think Ozzy and Sharon, whatever, owed Jet 2 more albums. They're like, you know what? We'll do a double live album, and that'll take care of that. Hence, double album, right? In the meantime, right, Sabbath, well, Ozzy and Sabbath together, supposedly something was going down with their music publishing, had expired, which gave Ozzy more power, whatever the hell, to do all these songs, and these guys would get paid royalties, all right? There was some other kind of mix-up with that going on as well. A lot of crap going on with all this. So they did all that, and Ozzy did all the Sabbath songs. There's no Ozzy songs on here. This is all Black Sabbath. And Naomi's like, I don't know why he did that. Whatever, man. It is what it is. So Ozzy didn't want to do it. The band rehearsed. They went, recorded 2 nights with an audience and 1 without. And then hence, we get Speak of the Devil. But Ozzy wanted this released before Sabbath released Live Evil. So this had come out pretty much towards the end of the year of 82, all right? This came out first, and it sold well, man. It did what it had to do. It made money. And, he did Symptoms of the Universe. He does Snowblind, the song Black Sabbath, Fairies Wear Boots, War Pigs, The Wizard. He's doing some classic stuff on here. NIB, Sweet Leaf, Never Say Die, which is cool. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, Iron Man to the Grave, and Paranoid. It's pretty cool set list on here. Some pretty cool stuff. Aldridge does a great job on here in drums. I love the way he plays Fairies Wear Boots. Gillis, Sarzo, for what they had to do, they did it, all right? And then basically right after that, Gillis continued touring, and then Sarzo as well. But then when all that was over, Sarzo split. He was like, hey, man, I'm going to leave. I'm going to go to Quiet Riot. And, Brad Gillis is like, hey, man, I'm going to go to Night Ranger. And supposedly there was a little fight between Ozzy and Rudy Sarzo the day of the U.S. Metal Festival. I think they went at it backstage. And I don't know if Ozzy hit him or whatever. Who the hell knows? But yeah, a lot of controversy with all this shit. All right. So that's enough of this. So that came out first. Ozzy got his way. And now we get into Sabbath's Live Evil. All right. This is my original copy. Now, most of you guys know the story behind all of this, right? The stuff going on in the studio. Iommi and Geezer and Ronnie would go in and do a mix. They would leave. They would come back the next day, and the mix is all screwed up. They would set it back again. They would leave, come back the next day. The mix isn't what it was the night before. Tony Iommi's book, he says that the guy who was mixing and doing the engineering, this guy, DiCarlo, who happens to be Yvonne DiCarlo from The Monster, you know, Lily, that's her brother, who did the engineering on this, right? I forgot what his first name was, but anyway. So he finally was like, oh my God, because he was drinking heavily, and he was like, hey man, I gotta come clean. Ronnie's coming back and doing remixes when you guys are gone. Iommi threw a fit, you know, with Geezer, and like, that's it. Ronnie's not allowed in the studio anymore. Ronnie gets wind of this. He says, screw it, I quit. And he's gone. Now, I don't know if Ronnie was planning on doing solo stuff anyway, because I think Warner Brothers was offering him a deal to do solo stuff. But I don't know if he was allowed to do solo stuff and stay in Sabbath. I mean, they were all on Warner Brothers at the time. You know, this originally was on Warner Brothers. So all that stuff was going on. So finally, like, all right, well, Ronnie, you're fired. Well, whatever, I quit, you know, after 2 great friggin' albums. And that was the end of it, you know. So Geezer and Iommi had to go back and finish this up, you know. And they did. And, you know, it came out for what it is, and it did well. I mean, it went platinum, it went gold in certain countries. I mean, I love this cover. It's one of the best Sabbath covers, you know, in my opinion. I think it's great. And they do some cool songs on here as well. Yeah, a lot of controversy with all this stuff, man, you know? Just whatever. Now, whoa, I'm dropping stuff over here. So, you know, the songs on here are cool. Again, this is my original copy. It is what it is. When it came out, you know, we put it on, it sounded great, you know? Yeah, the mix, you could tell it was, I don't know, some people say it was muddy. It was a little, you know, bassy. Certain things got lost in the mix. But, you know, there was other things that were going on that I don't want to really talk about in people's personal lives of what they were doing that might have clouded their hearing or whatever. Who the hell knows, all right? But it came out, and it, like I said, it did well. It did well, and Speak of the Devil, both these albums, they did well. So this came out first, and this came out like the beginning of 83, like January of 83, where this had come out at the end of 82, okay? And my only big gripe with this album, I said it in other videos, I said it in my Black Sabbath video, and I just said it in my New Arrivals when I talk about the new box set that came out, is that I get it, you know, you had the Mob Rules and you had the Heaven and Hell albums, which was more than enough material to have put a live album out. And I understand why they do the Black Sabbath songs, because they were still touring under the name Black Sabbath. So maybe they felt like, hey, we have our following and we still need to do Black Sabbath songs. You know, just like Ozzy does when he does Paranoid and Iron Man and Children of the Grave. But I mean, there's a lot of, I mean, they do an NIB, Black Sabbath, War Pigs, Iron Man, Paranoid, and Children of the Grave. That's 6 Black Sabbath songs. And then with the new Dio stuff, you got Neon Nights, Children of the Sea, Voodoo, the Mob Rules, Heaven and Hell, Sign of the Southern Cross. And so it's like 6 and 6. But they could have played, like I said in my other video, they could have played all these older Black Sabbath songs in concert. But in my opinion, when it came to the live album, I think they should have just did more Dio stuff, you know, Slipping Away and Country Girl and the other songs on, you know, Heaven and Hell, I mean, and Mob Rules. You know, Die Young, Walk Away, I mean, all that sort of stuff. Lonely's the Word. More than enough songs that could have went on here. That's my only gripe. All right, which they did later on when they became Heaven and Hell, and I'll actually show you that album. It's just all those songs with Ronnie. Ronnie should have sang Ronnie, you know, and just left the Ozzy stuff off and this would have been, you know, a killer album. I mean, some people love this album, all right? I don't want to start getting hate comments, all right? It's a good album. I like it. Is it my favorite live album? No. Now, before we move on, another reason why Sabbath was insistent on putting a live album out, a double live album with this material, was because their old record label, NEMS, without Black Sabbath's permission, released Live at Last. This came out in 1980. Black Sabbath did not want this to come out. They were mad that it came out. And they're like, oh my God, you know, like, what are they doing? But they had no power over this because NEMS owned like the recordings and whatnot and just released the stuff. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, NEMS, it was their old record label. Well, all right. The other Sabbath record label usually says NEMS going across the top. It's Black Label, NEMS. You Sabbath fans know, all right? For those who don't, trust me, Google it. All right? So, yeah. So, they released this, and Iommi and Geezer were like, oh, my God, you got to be kidding me. And to be fair, I mean, the stuff on here is good, but it's not really great sounding. There's a lot of feedback. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's a really old recording. I mean, the songs are cool on here. Tomorrow's Dream, Sweet Leaf, Killing Yourself to Live, Cornucopia, Snowblind, Children of the Grave, War Pigs, Wicked World, and Paranoid. But Iommi and Geezer had no power over this being released. So they're like, all right, screw that. We need to release something now, more current, with our current singer, not something that old. So they jumped on it and did this, all right? So what I want to talk about today is Live Evil. Now that we got through all of that, let's move on to this. This is my original copy, all right? The box set just came out. It's remastered and it's remixed. One thing is, if you have the vinyl that I have, 2 albums are remastered, the other 2 are remixed. If you got the CDs, it's the same thing. It's a 4-disc thing, okay? This is the original. It was just a double album, all right? Gatefold. I'm going to show you this stuff all over again, all right? And like I said, it's on the Warner Brothers label. This is original vinyl. This is not 180, all right? You can hear that sucker wiggle. And it sounded good, all right? I have no problems with it yet. Compared to stuff today now and the other versions that I have, yeah, you could say it's a little on the muddy side, but, you know, you turn the treble up a little bit, you lower the bass, it's a good sounding album, all right? So, original copy. That's number 1. All right, you guys with me so far? You picking up when I'm laying down? I got to make sure. You got to go to the bathroom, you got to hit pause. We're going to be a while, all right? All right, so, original copy. Then I bought these Japanese pressings. All right, I got 2 of them. So this is the first one. All right, you got your OBI Gumuzigan there. All right, this one is gatefold, just like my original. Opens up. Okay, the same pictures. There's no extra songs on anything. Not even the new box set. No extra songs, no extra anything. All right, this label's a little different because it's the Japanese pressing. And it's on the vertical label. All right, you guys all know this label. It's got the little mushroom flying saucer thing going on there. All right. This is pressed in Japan. This is not 180 gram. You can hear it. All right. And this sounds great. All right. It's maybe a little bit louder than the original version. But the mix is pretty much the same. All right. It still kind of has that like little muddiness to it, but they sound good though. All right, these come with the little bios. One side is Japanese. You know, it comes with the words, which is in English. All right. Obviously, you can tell they use like some kind of translator machine or something because sometimes the words are a little off, but it's there. All right. So this was a double album as well. The other vinyl looks the same exact. All right. And like I've said in other videos, the Japanese pressings, the surface noise is a little quieter. But now with all the new turntables, you know, we have that little glass that comes down that covers it. Some record players don't have that anymore. It's just straight up. So the surface noise is a little quieter. But this is a very good pressing. If you want to pick it up, I recommend it. All right. It's pretty good. Sounds great. Yeah, but the mix is still the same, all right? Just sounds a little clearer, all right? But yeah, sounds great, all right? Now I have another Japanese pressing, and there's really not much difference. It's on the same label. I compared them, and they sound the same, all right? Only this one, all right, it's got a different OBI thing on it, all right? See the difference there? This is not gatefold. This is just single, opens up, nothing's going on. The vinyl is the same. Now, the only difference between this one and this one is that this is gatefold and this is not. They sound identical, all right? This one I'm probably going to sell. I'm probably going to get rid of this one, all right? I've had it for years. I'm like, you know, it's the same freaking thing. Doesn't, whatever, all right? Again, it's the same thing. It's got the same label, all right? Same thing. Nothing else going on here. But before I give it away, I mean, I'm assuming that one might be worth a little more. I got to go to Discogs and check it out. All right. This one also comes with the bio and the words, which I will pull it out right here. I think that's all that's in there. Yeah, it's all that's in there. All right. The bio in Japanese is the same exact thing. And the words. All right. So that's with that. Now, like I said, between this one and my original, the Japanese pressing sounds a little bit better, but not by much. All right? Okay. So now, there's a CD version that came out a few years ago. That looks like this. All right? Actually, there was even one before this. It was a single version. And that one sounded pretty good. It sounded better than this one, okay? And when I bought this, I had gotten rid of the other one like a bonehead because that one actually sounded better than this. This one is very low, all right? It's, the volume is just, I don't know, man. You want to talk about mud? They did not do a good job on this. I'm sorry to say. But, yeah, this was like this little box set. I've talked about it in one of my other videos. I mean, if you got it or you want to get it, do it, whatever. But there's another version that's single. I don't even know if you can find it anymore. That sounded better, all right? It was a better remaster. This one is not a very good remaster at all, okay? Don't get mad at me, but that's the truth, all right? So that's what it looks like. No extra songs, nothing, all right? It's got a little booklet with it. All right? Show it to you. You know, it's got a little summary and stuff like that. Little story about the album and, you know, the usual. It's the gatefold that's in the album. Some more stuff going on there. All right. Kerrang! Yeah, good magazine. Are they even around anymore? All right. So, it's cool for that. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of this. I mean, I'll keep it. But, yeah, there was another version that sounded better, and I'm an idiot for getting rid of it. But that's all right, because now I got the new box set. Covers it all. All right? So, yeah, this was good. All right? That's the back. And that's pretty much the side. All right? If you see it somewhere and you want to pick it up used, go for it. It's not the worst thing, but just the remaster mix of this could have been a hell of a lot better. Deluxe edition. Yeah, it comes in this plastic thing, all right? So that's that. Now between this and the album sounds better. Okay? I know it's CD, but like again, the mix and a remaster on this, I'll stick with that, okay? My original album or the Japanese release. Takes care of that. Now, there's other stuff you can get, and I'll show you real quick, of basically around that time. Ooh. So, this was a bootleg. It's a CD in Hartford. I have the album as well. I showed in my Black Sabbath video. And, you know, this one sounds good, all right? And it's basically the same songs you get. They open up with War Pigs. It goes into Neon Nights, NIB, Children of the Sea. You got Sweet Leaf, Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, Iron Man, guitar solo. But at least they do Die Young on here, all right? They should have did Die Young on Live Evil. Okay? My point. And then they do Paranoid. All right? But the Hartford show is good. 1980. There is a vinyl version that has a different cover. Yeah, it's in there. I'm not going to go dig it out. I showed it once before. But this is very well, you know, good concert as well. All right. Then there's the Black Sabbath live at the Hammersmith Odeon. All right. And this sounds good too. This is triple vinyl. Okay. I'll try to open this without breaking the thing. All right. I've showed this in my Sabbath video too, but I'll show it again. And this sounds great. Okay. This is a good concert. Now this is on 180 gram. All right. The sucker ain't shaking. All right, it's the label. All right. I'm not going to show all three, but you get the gist. All right. And this concert sounds great. If you got it, some of this showed up on the Mob Rule remixes. All right. I'm sure you guys have that as well. Those sound great. Again, on here, they do Neon Nights, NIB, Children of the Sea. Country Girl is on here. Should have been on Live Evil. Black Sabbath, War Pigs, Slipping Away. Could have been on Live Evil. All right, you got Iron Man, Mob Rules, Heaven and Hell, Paranoid Voodoo, and Children of the Grave. Right? So, 2 songs right off the bat. Slipping Away, and what's the other one I just mentioned? Like a Country Girl. 2 more that could have been on there. You could have taken something else off. Right? You're following me. All right. What else? All right. So now, we get into this, finally. The new Live Evil box sets, all right? Obviously, this is the CD version. These sound great. Now, I'm not going to tell, well, I'll tell you a little bit. I won't tell you what songs, though. But there's some added stuff in here, and there's some stuff that's taken out of the songs. There's a little more stage banter between a couple of songs, and there's one part on the old album where Ronnie's talking. That's not on here, all right? Now, the CD version, it's a box. You open a box. This is how you open a box. Ooh, you open a box, all right? I love when people do unboxings. It's hysterical, all right? Little hype thing. Now, you'll see this better when I show you, because I had the vinyl version as well. Vinyl, not final. But it's all the same stuff, all right? You got the 2 CDs in here. These are the remixes. This is the original, remastered. Comes with a poster, which I will show you again. Comes with the replica tour book. I have the original. It always comes with a book with pictures and a story. And this is basically what's on the back of the box that, you rip off. Don't worry, I'm going to show you all this stuff in a bigger version so you don't go freaking blind trying to look at this little shit. All right? Settle down over there. All right. So how you guys doing so far? Week, it ended. Today's Friday. Everything is good. I know some people got some storms ripping through where they live. I know we got rain up the wazoo over here for the next few days. I don't know what's going on, man. Global warming, who knows? All right, but yeah, there's some storms and stuff coming through. I mean, we're going to get rain all weekend. And now that you got the weather update, it was a commercial. All right, now we're back to our show. All right, so this is the vinyl version, all right? Yeah, it's completely different. All right. Again, there's no extra songs on here or anything. It's just whatever was on those is on this. But the remasters on here and the remixes are freaking really great, okay? Again, there's just certain things that are added and certain things that are missing. If you guys have the, if you bought any of the Dio, like the Holy Diver, there's extra stuff in the beginning of the songs, and there's some stuff on the outros where it goes longer. So this is kind of the same thing. Like I said, they've added some banter and they took some stuff off. All right. There's the hype sticker that comes with it. I always save them. All right. This is what was on the back of the box. I always take it off and keep it. I got to get the book out. Hopefully it doesn't land on my ankle. All right. Come on. Stop breaking my onions here. All right. All right, so this is the book, all right? Opens up. Oh, okay. Show this again. Come on. So it's cool. It's got some good pictures. It interviews Tony, Geezer, Vinny, So there's some cool interviews in here explaining all this stuff. And you know, again, and they don't get malicious on anything or anybody when they start talking about what happened towards the end. I mean, from my understanding, what I read, you know, these guys were button heads anyway. You know, Ronnie and Geezer and Tony, you know, Ronnie likes things done a certain way. So Ronnie will speak up, you know, and I guess he might have been getting a little too bossy for these guys at the time, you know. Listen, ego, it's not even an ego thing. It's just what certain people want. Strong personalities, you know. And you can only imagine Ronnie and Tony, you know, discussing and disagreeing on stuff. I mean, you know, it's Tony's band kind of, sort of, you know. I mean, him, Geezer, you know, those are the bosses, you know. But, you know, Ronnie is Ronnie. And I don't mean that in a bad way, all right? Ronnie's great, man. I just wish he was still here. And for what these guys did for, you know, the 2 studio albums, both magic, all right? Keep going through the book here for you guys. And, you know, I mean, if you're a Sabbath fan, you're going to get this. You probably have it already. If you don't have it yet, I suggest you pick it up because it sounds great. Unless you're like, hey, man, I got the original copy. I'm good. Then, you know, some people are like that, too. I don't need 16 copies of an album. Hey, man, more power to you. Me, I always like the new improved. I like the remasters. I like the remixes. Like I say, you know, when they add extra stuff in, you know, it is what it is. Okay? Keep going through this. We're almost at the end of this. All right? And that's basically what's in the album. The gatefold. You got the tour dates. All right? Come on, one more page. And then that's it. All right? So that's the book. Rockin' and rollin'. Then it comes with the replica tour book. Now, in the video I just made, I just showed my tour books. You know, the Heaven and Hell tour book and my 2 Mob Rules books. So if you want to check them out, go back to that video that just came out, the new arrivals. It's got Art the Clown on there as well with an AC/DC album. And you see my tour books, all right? So this is the replica, which is basically the same thing. I mean, they did a good job of this, which is really cool. And to throw this in here was awesome. All right? Awesome picks. All right? Keep going. You know, hopefully I don't get a paper cut showing you guys all this stuff. If I do, you better appreciate it. Band-Aid, props. All right. Geezer looks like, I'm playing Paranoid again. All right. Vincenz, there he is. And I said in my other video that when Vinny first joined, he had like this little drum set, you know, and Tony's used to having Bill Ward behind him with that huge drum set, you know, and he turns around one night and he sees this little drum set, you know, and I'll imitate what I did. Vinny's back there. He's like, oh, mate, you got to get a bigger drum set. Add more tom-toms and cymbals. You need more. So Vinny went out and got more, you know, which is great. Need a bigger drum set. More cowbells. All right. So that takes care of the tour book that comes with this, all right? Then it comes with a poster. And I said in my other video, if I was 18 years old right now, I definitely would hang this on my wall. And if I had more wall space, I'd probably hang it up as well. Only now, being of age, I'd stick it in a frame instead of just thumbtacking it to the wall. All right, I opened it up the last time. Here we go. All right, there you go. So you got some cool picks, all right? Bring it down, it says Black Sabbath, all right? Cool. And I fold it in one shot. That's a miracle. All right, so now we get to the vinyl. First up, gotta get it out of the box, is that, all right? So this is just the remastered version. And it sounds great, okay? It's killer. All right, everything is the same. Just the record label. This is 180 gram. Comes like that. Whoa, good catch. All right. There you go. There's side 1 and side 2. And the other vinyl is the same thing. That sucker ain't wiggling. And these sound tremendous, all right? They sound great. They're not as muddy as the originals. The volume is higher. The drums are better. I mean, you hear things now, all right? that you didn't hear on the other one, unless you really paid attention, but you can hear better stuff on these. Again, no extra songs, no nothing. Everything is pretty much the same. Here, I'll hold it to the original. All right? So it's pretty similar, all right? Not much going on there. But sounds great. Remastered. Now you get into the remixed remastered. Come on, get out of the box. Now this one is brighter. The instruments are louder. The vocals are louder. Which, this is what... I'm never going to get into it. They complained about drums and vocals being louder, and then there it is. But everything is clear. Everything is, mixed very well. It's remixed. You can hear the audience a little bit more in certain areas. What else? The bass drum is more prominent. The drums in general, you hear things. Iommi's guitar. I mean, everything just sounds really good on here. It's just it's brighter. All right, it takes away the muddiness on this. But yeah, this sounds great. Okay, double album. It's gatefold, just with different pictures. All right, basically the pictures from the poster. 180 gram. Nothing else is going on. The record sleeve. The label's the same as the other one. All right, one side. Okay, I mean, they did a great job mastering all this stuff again and putting this out, which was great. Now, the only thing, if you guys remember back in the day, they talked about that they filmed this, and never has a DVD popped up from this concert. I don't know if it's ever going to, if it ever will. Who knows who has it? I have no idea. Maybe one day we'll see it. Who knows? But yeah, the concert was filmed, and it was supposed to have been out. I don't think we're ever going to see the light of day on that. I mean, they just found not too long ago the master tapes to Born Again. Waiting for Tony to do that too, right? Crazy stuff, man. So now, between the remastered remixes compared to this, compared to the original, compared to the Japanese pressings, all right, all these different things, the box set sounds better, okay? It sounds better than all of those. The CD, again, if you want it, if you got it, pick it up, but you're better off with this, all right? If you don't have this, or if you want to replace the original copy of the CD that came out with this is the way to go. This sounds amazing, okay? The vinyl, I mean, I'm not going to get rid of my original. Why would I? But the remixes sound great. I mean, just like the Dio. I'm not going to get rid of my original Dios because I got the new remasters. No. That ain't happening. This is why I need more room, all right? So, all that being said about the songs being on here and all that stuff, if I'm going to be honest, all right, like I said, this isn't one of my favorite live albums. I mean, it's good. I throw it on here and there. I'll probably listen to it a little bit more now because of the remixes and stuff. But if I'm really going to be honest here, like I just said, I wish they did more Ronnie songs on Live Evil. For my money, if you really want something cool to listen to, Sabbath with Ronnie, all Ronnie songs, all right? This is what I recommend. The Heaven and Hell, The Waking Show, all right? This not only sounds amazing, the set list is great. I mean, it's just phenomenal. This is a double album, all right? I'll show you what this one looks like. If you can find this, pick it up, all right? This is one of the sleeves, all right? Some pictures. This is on clear vinyl, right? This is 180 gram. Okay. That sucker ain't moving. Now, I don't want anybody hating on me or anything, but I will take this over this, all right? Sorry, it's just, the songs on here are just killer, man, all right? And I'll tell you what they are in a second. All right, let me show you the other vinyl. Pull it out real quick. All right, so you know you got little Ronnie back there. Show some of the songs. Again, the vinyl is the same. It's just clear. Kind of grayish, kind of white going on. All right, 180 gram, and these sound phenomenal. Everything on here sounds great. I mean, Geezer's bass never sounded better. All right. Now the songs on here, they open up with Mob Rules. Goes into Children of the Sea. They do the song I. They do Bible Black. I freaking love that song. Time Machine, Fear, Falling Off the Edge of the World, Follow the Tears, Die Young, Heaven and Hell, and Neon Nights. Now, the only thing I wish was on here, it was Voodoo. I love that song, Voodoo, man. And anything else off of here? I mean, already doing Neon Nights. Yeah, if Voodoo was on here, that'd be freaking even better, all right? But, that being said, all right, to go along with this, here's the DVD, all right? Great concert to watch. Sounds great, man. If you got, you know, surround sound, man, crank this up. This is good stuff. Now on here, you get a few more songs. It's the same. Bible Black, Mob Rules, From the Sea. No, it's all the same. Well, Country Girl is on here. That's not on here. I thought there was something else. No, that's it. Yeah, Country Girl. All right, so there's one extra song on here that's not on here. And that's fine that Country Girl's not on here. It's okay. But yeah, this is a great DVD. Now, another great DVD, again, with all Ronnie songs, is this one here. They recorded at Radio City. I know the glare is bad. And they do Voodoo on here. They do Lady Evil on here, which is great. What else? Computer God, The Devil Cried, Shadow in the Wind, Die Young, Lonely is the Word. I mean, great stuff. You know, if you just took these two and put them together, I mean, yeah, you know. But for some people, this is Timeline. This is the one that came out first, so this is what, you know, they're attached to. I mean, the cover is amazing. But, yeah, you know, I like Ronnie singing Ronnie. You know, him doing the Ozzy songs, you know. Not that he did a bad job of it. He did a great job, you know. But I like Ozzy singing Ozzy and Ronnie singing Ronnie. Now, speaking of somebody singing Black Sabbath songs, being in Black Sabbath, right? On Born Again, if you have this deluxe version, right, with Ian Gillan, on here is some live stuff, all right? Let me show you the back, just in case you don't have it. Now, on here, Ian Gillan sings, where is it? All right, they do Hotline. He sings War Pigs, Black Sabbath. He does a good version of singing Black Sabbath. He sings Iron Man. And they do a great version of Smoke on the Water on here, man. It's killer. And then he sings Paranoid. So those are the extra songs. I'm sure, I mean, it's not a whole concert, obviously. I'm sure he sang some other Sabbath songs, but those are the ones that are on here that, you know, that Ozzy sang, that he sings. And he does a great job, just like Ronnie did. But, you know, I like hearing Ozzy sing Ozzy, you know. But yeah, if you want to hear the live versions, pick this up. It's the deluxe one, all right? This is another one. I hope they remaster, maybe come out with a box set. Now, I don't mind really the sound on here too much. Maybe just because I got used to it. But I kind of like the distorted sound on it. The way the guitars, the bass, and the drums kind of sound, you know. If they remaster and remix this, it'll sound great, man, because there's some good stuff on here. All right? So, yeah, that takes care of all that stuff. All right? So that's my opinion on this compared to the old stuff. I mean, I'm not going to start getting into, well, the analog delay is off by 5 decibels. I'm not going to get into all that. Listen, I go by what my ears, all right? I know what's muddy. I know what's clear. All right? That's the gist of that. So, one real quick thing before I split. If you can find a back order of this, Record Collectors, Black Sabbath, some really cool stuff in here. I mean, this is somewhat kind of old because they're advertising the SABBATH black box set. But these record collector magazines are pretty cool, man. I mean, they do different stuff every month, whatever. But this is all Black Sabbath, and it really talks about what's worth money, what isn't, what pressing is worth money, what isn't. I mean, there's actually like a little price code back here at some point. It shows all the different, it goes through the whole album collection, and then it goes into all the different pressings from all the countries all over the world. It shows the differences, you know, the Brazilian mix, the Japanese mix, the Argentinian mix. I mean, all sorts of stuff, the different labels. So this one just happens to be on Black Sabbath. I have an Iron Maiden one. I got a Judas Priest one. Really cool stuff, all right? So yeah, if you want to find this and pick this up, Record Collector presents Black Sabbath. When was the date on this? Oh, that's the price. But anyway, if I show it up close, all right, Black Sabbath. All right. So yeah, check this out, Sabbath fans. And that's all I got to show you. So between Speak of the Devil, the drama behind that, Live Evil, drama behind all that, and Live at Last, and all that crap. All right. So that's it, guys. Live Evil, box set, other stuff. You're good to go. All right, man. Hope you dug this. And as usual, all right, be good. Watch out for one another out there. It's a crazy freaking world, all right? Watch each other's back when you're walking around, all right? And as usual, you get up close. Peace out, Buttercup. Have a great weekend, guys. Tomorrow's Saturday. Yeah, metal.